And welcome back to Kingsport 1886, our ongoing exploration of modern American poetry, the Fae, monsters, polyamorous triads. There's a lot going on. Oh yeah, and crotchety old sorcerers who live in the woods. So I am joined by my stellar cast, all of them previous Kingsporters. So let's begin with my longtime collaborator, Serafina, who is playing Siobhan Hunter, our worm.
Hi, I'm Serafina. I'm playing Siobhan Hunter. She had a really sexy time last week. What with the flirting and the being in Fae and the watching Finch shut down Emily Dickinson. It was really nice, and I'm sure everything's gonna go super well now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I won't take revenge in game. That would be wrong. I'm just gonna say, you're a monster. So why don't we go straight to Daryl, who is playing Finch Greenwood. Our what are you? You're our queen.
Yes, I am Daryl, pronouns he, him, and I'm playing Finch Greenwood, also pronouns he, him. Finch is the queen. He's a spoiled brat of a socialite who really just wants people to love him, but he has an insufferable personality that he doesn't want to work on. So yeah, he basically got in deep with the Queen of Hearts, and one of the bargains that they struck was that he would be a little bit better at dealing with people if he decided to bully Emily Dickinson until she left a party. So that was a thing that happened. Yeah. I'm still in super deep with the Queen of Hearts, and that's a thing that I'm going to have to deal with, as well as, I did try to drive a wedge between Emily Dickinson and her master, who is also connected with the Queen of Hearts. And so Finch is just rolling in it right now. So, yeah, that's where he is.
Yep. I think at some point I just need to accept this is the kind of game I run. And we're just going to go with that. Why don't we go next to David, who is playing Jonathon, our mortal, who was not around for last week, and that might be to his benefit.
Yeah, hi, I'm David, and I'm playing Jonathon Brody, the immortal. Last we saw Jonathon, he was enjoying an intimate moment with Finch Greenwood, where he has been since that point, I'm not sure, but I'm sure he'll be interested to hear that Finch is working on bettering himself, even though he's obviously already perfect.
Oh wow, you got it bad. And finally, let's go to Leandra, who's playing Alice, our Hollow.
I think her name is now Poor Alice, the Hollow, because I'm Leandro, pronouncer he. I'm playing Alice McBride, pronouncer she, her. She is the Hollow. She was created to basically replace the actual Alice McBride. She had a real downward slope of a gradient of a time last session. Went to the woods after the party, ran into Helen. They had a nice chat about, I think identity and sense of self and rain lizards. And I was spurred to go into the forest and to properly figure out who she is. Ran into Noah. What is it? How do you pronounce the name again? The last name Watley? Watley. There we go. All right. I've been pronouncing it Watley for most of my life. That's probably incredibly wrong. But yeah, ran into Noah Watley. He of Dunwich Horror fame. And basically Alice decided to grow a spine and just basically bully him into no, take me to where I came from. Ended up at his house. He as if read Lovecraft, he has his wife all enslaved and whatnot. So Alice decided to bash Noah Waddley in the head with a beer bottle. Try to escape. Didn't. Was accosted by these Lovecraftian creatures. Who was with them was someone she didn't expect to see ever again, which was Alice McBride, who apparently ran off into the cosmos, not to Wales. Basically, and then they had a very emotional, horrible chat for our Alice, who the real Alice basically like, all right, you know what? You don't know who you are. You can be Alice McBride since you're here. You're stuck here now. I'm off. Bye bye. And yeah, poor Alice. So she's in a state.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's bad for you. It's not you not working out is probably how this goes. But we'll see. Maybe you'll be joined by people. So yeah, speaking of stuff, Finch is still in his darkest self. And even worse, the Dark Power now has 4 strings on Finch. So I may be coming a calling for you. Just might want to keep that in mind. Yeah, double darkest self. Cool. So where should we begin? I think last time we left off, our intrepid dancers were leaving the fairylands. Well, technically they were leaving 1864, but you got to go through the fairylands to get there from here.
So I assume that we hop into the room of doors probably, and we have to see our old friend, the desk clerk.
I think you transit straight back to Watkins House. And the Queen of Hearts is sitting there.
Son of a bitch.
Well, it's so lovely to see you two trespassers again.
I feel like we just saw you.
Yes. Jeremy, bury me. Don't worry about it, son.
When you say trespassers.
Oh, yes, I've purchased this house.
Well, then we'll just be on our way.
Yes. Oh, and Finch, darling, could you do me a favor on the way out?
Of course.
Smash that mirror for me. That's a good boy.
He looks around as if there's anything to smash it with, and then quickly realizes that the house is still abandoned, and then wraps his hand in a handkerchief and punches the mirror.
That's fantastic. Please take a harm.
He didn't want to, but he had to.
However, you'll be happy to know I will consider that the first request.
Yay!
Cool. Alrighty then. Where do you go to now? And also, don't be afraid to take a time jump, since clearly, clearly, Alice is going to be somewhat limited in her Amherst Express now.
Gosh, where do we go now?
Well, how much time has passed since we were in the fairy realm? I think that's the more important thing to ascertain.
Yeah.
That seems fair. I think we should advance the time a little bit. Shall we say a week?
Great.
Cool. So,
long party.
yeah, let's hear from Jonathon and Alice about what happened during that week while our intrepid two were away.
I think it's probably been a fairly quiet one for Jonathon. He's been going to school as normal, going to work as normal. With Finch's absence, he's probably been finding nice dramatic places to brood for a while.
Ironically, or
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Got a whole Heathcliff vibe going on.
Yeah.
Cool. And what about poor Alice?
Yeah, poor dear Alice. She's kind of she's kind of, I don't know, reverted back to I think when she first showed up, when she was just completely, not completely, but like almost totally blank and like terribly silent and just quiet and just like she's like, I don't know, she's blue screen of death right now. Over the past week, it's she's become like just not even a functional person, just going through the motions. I think people will know this, but I think it's almost like, you know, the past days before that, she was trying to become more lively, trying to spark something, but now she's kind of back to like just she's not even trying anymore, I think. Like the real Alice told her that she can be Alice's bride, but she doesn't want that. And figures, well, if she wanted to be something and got beaten back down, so why even bother?
That reminds me. So I believe you left Euphemia back at Dunwich, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah, she got carried off.
Yep.
We didn't we didn't make it that far.
Oh dear, that's so terrible. All right. So why not? Why don't we just reconvene to homeroom where everybody just walks in like nothing happened? Except, well, actually, maybe not nothing has happened. Jonathan, I don't think Magnus is going to let you brood all by your lonesome.
Hmm. I feel like now that Jonathon and Finch are together forever, I think he'll probably turn down Magnus's advances.
Would it be fair to call that a keep your cool roll?
I think it would. Yeah, let's see how good he is at this. I believe the answer is not very. That's a 7. I think what I fear here is that, I will give in to my base urges, sullying my pure love for Finch.
So, let me think what the appropriate hard move here is. Okay. Your choice. You give in at least a little bit once in a moment of weakness and whiskey, or you make Magnus into an implacable enemy.
Ooh, both of those are tempting.
Thank you.
No, go on. I will give in.
Cool. Great. So let's just put you and Finch together in homeroom, huh?
I think the second I walk in, I remember like that I can just check in on each of my little birds because I have a telepathic connection to my gang, and you're now one of my gang. And so I think that I immediately feel the waves of guilt coming off of you. And you just see me like darken. And I walk over there and I like take you by the wrist and I pull you up and I ask, did he touch you?
Look, just once we were worried about you. We'd been drinking and things kind of got out of hand.
So you shared a moment with someone because you cared about me so much that you couldn't help but fall into his arms?
Look, it wasn't like that. It was I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just missed you, so I didn't think you were going to be away as long as you were.
You see like the like stern look on Finch's face soften. And to you, because you're in love with me, it looks sweet and forgiving. But say if, Alice was there, she'd definitely see the evil in it. And I just kind of smile and say, I don't hold you responsible for this. You're new. You don't know any better yet. And I turn around and I say, Magnus, may I have a word?
Why, of course, old man.
That's it. And I just smile and I say, yes, I believe I need your help with something in the supply closet. After you.
Oh, of course. No problem, old man.
As we're walking by, I lift a pair of scissors out of the cup on the teacher's desk and like tuck them in my pocket.
Okay. So yeah, you get to the supply closet and it's like, so what was that rather shabby pretext about? What do you need to talk to me about, old man? Hey everyone, Kat here. You'll notice that there's probably an awkward cut right here, and I'm doing this immediately after so that I can cut it in during post. We have safety tools for a reason, and I have been a little bit lax of late in making sure that all those safety tools get on the air, but we do have them even when I forget to talk about them. And we had to use a couple of them tonight, which I've tried to clean up in the edit, but one of them was open door, and it's important to remember that these safety tools are there to help us get through exactly this kind of situation where something comes up and people are just not really willing to have that in their experience for the evening. So just a reminder, practice good hygiene, use your safety tools. They're there to help. And remember, no game's more important than your own safety. All right, now back to the game. So yeah. So I thought it was share and share alike, old man.
Magnus, I don't share. I have made it clear to you that we do as I say. And I've made it clear that fraternizing among my flock is strictly prohibited.
Well, I suppose so. I just thought maybe I had a little bit of a prior claim on the matter. I mean, I sacrificed a lot, and you were off heavens knows where, and well, we both were missing you, and I don't think you can blame either of us if we turn to each other for comfort.
So I'm going to use streaming, and then I'm actually going to gaze into the abyss to try to hear his specific thoughts.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I'm specifically fishing around for I want to know his level of sincerity here, or if he's trying to con me, or if he's if this is legit, what happened. So with my new -1 dark, which I bargained for.
Yep, but you do get a +1 on this.
Then it's a 7.
Ooh, cool. So there's a little sincerity, but what absolutely rings through is yes, he did miss you, and yes, he's attracted to Jonathon. But the thing that your absence really drove home was, when you're not around, he's kind of the rightful leader of the group, right? And actually, yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to cure him of some of his conditions because, yeah, snubbed can stayed, but he ain't cowed no more. So he figured, while the master's away, he can play. and maybe the master won't come back at all, and maybe he will, and nobody will care.
I think that I like echo those words like literally back to him. Like I let my eyes kind of glow a little bit, which is a trick that I've picked up from my various pursuits, and I say, when the master's away, you can play. Is that how it is, Magnus?
Would you care to roll plus gold?
Yes. And that is a 12.
Cool. What do you want to do to him?
From 10 up, I choose one from below. He has no strength on me. I've already got a strength on him. I think I'm going to give him a condition right back, but this one is going to be, and feel free, everybody else, to jump in. I basically want him to be like scared because he's aware that it's not just that I am like extra perceptive. It's like he knows that I can now read minds. At least that's what he thinks. It's like everyone's mind, maybe, but like scared of the knowledge.
In too deep?
Yeah, I like that. Wait, actually, even better. Out of his depths.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think he just blanches and says, I mean, I don't have your powers, old man. I'm sorry. I'm abjectly sorry.
Yeah, and I think that I like reach up into his hair and I yank him down and like force a kiss on his lips. And I say, yes, now show me how sorry you are. I'm willing to turn him on. And I think that I'm also still leaning into out of his depth.
Yeah. Take the +1 for that.
Yeah, so that's a 10.
Oh, he'll give himself to you. No question. It's like with relief.
So as we, are like readjusting our collars afterwards, I think the thing that I say to him is just like, so I hope that I've made myself perfectly clear on where I stand on the issue of fraternization.
100%, old man. 100%.
Good. And I just walk out and I don't even bother to like wait for him or anything like that.
Fantastic. Okie dokie. Cool. So we can assume the conversation between Alice and Jonathon happened. Finch comes back and Magnus doesn't. Unless you were going to make him come back with you, which didn't sound like you were.
No, I still need to find some way to destroy him, but this is not that moment.
Oh my goodness. Cool. Yeah. So, Alice, when do you find out that A, the Faery Queen is now living in Watkins House, and B, the mirror has been destroyed?
I think because this week she hasn't tried because it feels like if she go, I think she kind of rationalized herself that if she tries to go see Miss Dickinson, it's tantamount to asking her for help with her predicament, and she can't. She still has that compulsion. Don't know if they actually meant to carry it over this long, but I'm keeping it anyway because it's interesting. I don't know. I don't think she has yet because she hasn't had the urge until I think she realized until now when she knows she's been told that Finch is back, and like think she wants to, but like again, she's not sure. I think what clinches is when she gets home. Her routine now is she gets home kind of like early and makes tea for Eliza basically whenever she gets back from whatever the hell she's doing, and she just kind of goes up to her room and finds that on her desk, kind of like almost like she left it there and forgot about it. On her desk, there's like three things. One of them is the music box that she got from Siobhan. That's still there. The other one is the Frankenstein book that Helen gave back to her. And the last thing, still kind of left there, almost like as if that's where Alice left it before she went to the party, was a letter that she got from where again in America did you get that from? I muted.
Amherst, Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's a letter she has yet to answer because she's afraid that she can't write words like like what she got. So when she gets that, it's like, no, this is. I think again, this is her kind of waking up from shutting down. She's like, no, wait, I do. There is someone I can talk to, in this town, besides Helen. There's someone I can just go. I don't even have to write a letter. So I think it's later that day. She finally decides to go to the Watkins house, where you tell me what she finds there.
A couple guys actually like wearing livery and like red livery, and they see you coming and like, you must be Miss McBride.
She winces at that. She says, yes, that's me.
Well then, our mistress would like to speak with you.
Pray tell, who is your mistress?
The mistress of Watkins House.
There has not been an occupant in the Watkins house for as long as I remember.
Things change.
Okay, I'll meet with your mistress, I suppose.
Cool. So yeah, you're led into that dining room that's been turned into a sitting room. The broken mirror is conspicuously up against the wall, and a rather gorgeous woman in a red dress is sitting in an armchair with a tea service in front of her. Alice, please sit down and take tea with me.
She's going to sit down, but she's just cautiously, like, she's not going to take tea. She's just, instead, her hands are on her lap, and she's like, you're the so-called mistress of Watkins House, yes?
Oh, that and so much more.
I've been told about you. You oppose the master, right?
Our relationship is sort of a very complicated tug of war, give and take, vendetta. There's not really an appropriate human word for it.
Then, if you're so all-powerful, what do you want with me?
Well, I know, Alice, you're very, very special. Or else you wouldn't have been chosen by the master.
What makes me special? And please, could you make your answer direct? I'm tired.
Well, for one thing, you're not a human being. Is that direct enough for you, dear? Do you take one lump or two?
Two.
Sweet tooth, I admire that in a girl.
I think Alice is like, Jesus, she's oh, poor dear. I think in lieu of saying anything else, she is gonna take the tea and just like let warm her hands, I guess. And she's trying to put on a brave face. She's like, "Is that all?"
Well, you're hollow on the inside, Alice. I'm not sure if that's literally true. I've met creatures that is literally true. Into you, we can pour whatever we want. Unless, of course, you've done something stupid like acquire a mortal soul or something. That would be ridiculous. You'd have to actually care about something for that to happen.
And I think her demeanor is lighting up now that she's been told what she always knew. She's like, thank you for being so direct. No, seriously. Thank you. No one else has just come out and said it. No one else just been honest about all this. Even I haven't been honest. I couch my words in vagueness. Learn to speak like you are the master, but it's just nice to hear the truth. Yes, I'm not human. I'm empty. Yeah, that's what feels right. Thank you for that.
Oh, it's not a problem at all, my dear. We could have been such friends, I think, you and I. I could have made you into something beautiful. For, I am the one who grants desires. You would never have had a heart, but oh, the desiring you could have had. But now I'm afraid we must be implacable enemies, for you've attempted to subvert my will.
Oh, that's it. That's. I think she just take a sip. It's like, well, that's a shame. I guess you come here to take care of that.
I may not have to. The mirror is smashed. My fences grow stronger by the day as she grows weaker. Soon she'll die alone and unmourned. Then, then maybe I'll give you something, Alice. I'll give you my cold, implacable hate. Would you like that? It's a feeling. I understand you like feelings.
More than anything, I for a while she looks in the mirror. For a while, I thought that I was actually feeling a connection with my dear madame, but you know, I know it and you know it. It was all pretend, right? It was all learned. It wasn't real. None of that was real.
Alice, there's a lesson most human beings never learn. But perhaps you're in a unique position to learn it.
Well, I'm not human, so I might as well not even try and learn it.
Yes. Well, we are what we pretend to be, Alice.
Fine. If you're not here to dispose of me, what then?
Oh, I'm here to watch you suffer.
Then, are you enjoying it?
Immensely.
That's something to know. And takes another sip. It's a bit too sweet, and so lips gonna purse it there, and she's like, and she puts it down, and she's like, I may not have anything, but I'm still questions. There's still, I guess, there's questions I want to know. Why Miss Dickinson?
They say that the fairies are strong in magic and weak in reason, and that humans are strong in reason and therefore weak in magic. But there are poets who can hover there. Those are the ones we crave. Great ones. People think we give them their ability. That's ridiculous. We notice their ability, and sometimes we can help with it. Sometimes we inspire without even realizing it. Bloody William Shakespeare. And so we collect. We take tribute. We make favorites. We play with them for a brief period of time. For why not? Eternity is very, very long, Alice. Even when you're being constituted like us, where all the innumerable moments of time are nothing more than drops of water in a river. You don't pay attention to the drops. But on the other hand, if when you're sailing down a river you come across a particularly beautiful bend, a wonderful meadow, a tree in full blossom, you may stay and admire it, and you'll keep that memory. It will form a part of your being. That's how it is with us. But there's always prices to pay.
That sounds so frustrating. Having to live like that.
Well, fortunately, I'm not really alive.
Which actually, I was actually like, yeah, she just scoffs at that. Is that your idea of kinship?
My dear, I'm the queen of Elfland. I hold kinship with no mortal being. I am not kin. I am a lord.
I think I think she's trying to put on a face, and she's trying to look unconcerned. I think she's a queen. She can tell that this she does that. You've cornered someone like this, and I was just gonna drink the tea, and it's like, is that all? No orders, no commands, no wishes. Is all I am then just pleasure?
Well, what else is there? Have you ever had a happy moment, Alice? I mean, I don't think you can because you're not constituted to do so.
I was constituted to fulfill a role, but they made a mistake. I don't know what they gave me, but they gave me too much. And instead of fulfilling it, instead what I got is the curse of knowing I can never be that. I can never be whatever they want, whatever Alice they know. And they know it, and I know it. And yet we'll all just muddle on. We'll all just put our heads down and think this is how it is. Because to say otherwise, it'll ruin it all. And so we just go, holding on to our little doubts and our little pains, and never letting anyone know. I don't know what to do, ma'am. I don't know what I want. Just not this.
Well, now, Alice McBride, you are doing a very dangerous thing. You're feeling pain, and you are on the verge of making your own choice. You know what will happen then if you display free will? Why, then you'll be mortal, girl. Then you'll be no use to me at all.
What? Well, then what will you do to rectify that?
Join my court. Come with me through the veil.
Run away? Escape?
Serve.
Then who will I be in your court?
Why, you'll be nothing. Isn't that what you really want to be? Isn't that what you really are?
That is who I am. Yes. I'm nobody. No one. Nothing of... Suppose if I go, no one will miss me. Not like they miss Alice. If I go, then what they remember isn't me, but the one who did leave. I was just trying to think, why, for whatever reason, would she not take this?
I mean, is she really nobody, though?
I think
I can think of at least one person who doesn't think you're that.
Yeah. No, I think I know what she wants to say, but if I say it again, then they'll become enemies. I think okay. No, I think no, no.
That may happen no matter what you do.
Yeah. I think I would just go out and say it. I think how it says, I am nobody. I'm no one. No one would miss me. No one would no one would mourn. But I don't want to be nobody. That's the difference. I just don't want I don't want to be Alice. But I don't want to be I just want to be my own. I want to be me. And she stands up and she's like, ma'am, thank you for the hospitality. But I believe that this may be the last moment we will have that. I'll take your leave. And I think I have to run away, I suppose, or I don't know.
So I usually make this call based on what the consequences would be. And, no, I think they'll let you go. For whatever reason. That may be interesting to find out why. Cool. I'd like to check back in, I think, with Jonathon before we take our break, because we've taken quite a bit of time. So, Jonathon, what's up with you?
Yeah, I think actually I might have gone after Finch because he looked hurt. And
You just have a total sad boy thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Hate you. Cool. Yeah, let's. Is Finch catchable?
Yeah, he's just walking through the woods, because what could possibly go wrong?
Greenwood's walking in the woods. That always turns out well.
He doesn't know his family legacy.
Hey, Finch.
He like turns around and smiles at you and says, "Jonathan, what are you doing here?"
I noticed your hand looked. Did you do something to it? You ought to get that looked at.
He like holds his hand out to you and says, "Would you like to look at it?"
I mean, this place ain't exactly ideal, but sure, I'll Here, come here. And yeah, he'll unwrap the handkerchief from around it.
You do this, Finch like closes the distance a little bit more and like places a hand on your shoulder. He looks down at it. It's probably like, it's probably a little bit still bloodied. Like I bet there's been like a couple little, like it's starting to close up, but there's still like points that are kind of like not freely bleeding, but like still spotting through.
Yeah, this still looks pretty bad. He's gonna take your hand sort of in his, and they're rough and calloused. They're is this? And he's gonna sort of reach in with a pair of things and pull out a tiny shard of glass. Is this glass in here?
It's a mirror specifically.
Well, bad luck sure showed up quick. And I think he's going to sort of get probably his own handkerchief out and just he'll use sort of the one you were using before to sort of clean up the wound a bit, and then bind it up again with his.
So someone took the time to tend to my wounds, and I'm sure it was delicately and intimate. So
perhaps with erotic subtext.
Oh, there's no perhaps about it.
Well, you could heal up to 2 harm that way. So
that's it. And of course, I kind of just like I close the distance a little bit more, and I just like straight up kiss Jonathan.
Yep, and he'll kiss him back, and he'll sort of lean in. He'll actually kind of still be holding the wounded hand out slightly, but he'll sort of come in, not quite sideways on, but you know what I mean, and kiss him back.
I
really
get an 8 on that roll.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, the turn someone on roll. So it sounds like Jonathan is gonna just give himself to you.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much where it's going. So I really did miss you, Finch. I know, you have places to be, and look, and I think he's going to gently but forcefully sort of push Jonathon to the ground, push Finch to the ground. Say, I can. I don't know. I can do much more for your hand, but I can at least take your mind off it for you.
You're just never getting out of Darkest Self, are you?
No, I think it's triple now.
Shaking my head. Okay. I think now it's time for us to delicately and carefully, and probably with no erotic subtext on my part, at least, take a break and come back. Let's just come back at the hour and try and rush this towards some sort of conclusion. So, all right, guys, I'll see you in a bit. Yep. All right. Thank you, Shadow. Your guest spot is appreciated. Cool. So where are we? What are we gonna do? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I think in the afterglow, I think as he's sort of shrugging his shirt back on Jonathan's going to turn to Finch and say, There's something else. I'm worried about Alice. I think she might have got herself caught up in something. I don't know what, but something weird.
Other Alice is already weird.
She's been more so this last week or so.
I mean, okay, what is she? What's her deal? What has she done that is even more un-Alice-like than her already un-Alice-likeness?
She's just been real vacant, like there's nothing there.
That's an interesting choice of words, because that's kind of how I've seen her for the last couple of months.
I mean, these last few times I've seen her, she was, seemed nice, friendly and that, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'd say it felt like something weird going on is all. And I know you were concerned about her before.
Well, I suppose we should take a visit to the other Alice McBride's house.
Did Jonathan know that? Remind me. Does Jonathan know that Alice is? I guess he probably. Oh yeah, no, he did. He did know. Oh, I think David.
No.
David's frozen. I think. Oh,
No, sorry. I wasn't quite sure what you were.
You were incredibly still. You were incredibly still. What happened? Okay.
So, if I recall correctly, Alice and Jonathan had conversations where you kind of confided those feelings of like being an alien in place of being an imposter in the place of the original. And so, I don't think you ever came right out and said it, but how does Jonathan react to Finch continuously calling her the other Alice?
I don't think he remarks on it particularly. I think it's I think it's yeah, I don't think it stands out as being a particularly strange thing for Finch to basically he assumes it's some sort of in joke or whatever. But
still so blinkered.
Yep.
I think that Finch probably leans in a little bit as conspiratorially, and he's like, haven't you thought it's strange that Alice McBride's personality basically changed overnight about a month ago?
I mean, truth be told, I didn't really have much to do with her until... I mean, I guess, she was a bit quieter in that in school, but...
A bit quieter isn't all she was. She's attracted some very strange attention that the first Alice never would have. There's this man in the woods who's taken quite the interest in her.
Yeah, I'd heard something about that. Some woman was told me to warn her off going to see him.
What woman?
She called herself the Queen of Hearts, all done up like Alice in Wonderland, you know.
At this moment, Finch wants to try very, very hard not to reveal anything to Jonathon about what he knows.
It sure sounds like you're afraid of revealing that information.
Indeed, I am.
Roll plus gold.
And it's a 10, because I still got that high gold.
You may feel free to ask me a question about the situation.
I realize that the queen and the gentleman are more deeply embroiled in all this than just me. And I'd like to think about how I could best turn that to my advantage.
Well, you know that they have, that's, I don't know. I'm the MC and I don't know. Let us reason together. You know that they share a mutual animosity. You know that they like to gamble over their favorites. You know that my cat likes to sit in front of the monitor so that I can't see what I'm doing. And you know that they're fighting over Alice. I think you could probably, if you could, oh, of course, you know, if Alice was part of your family, your little birds, why then you might be able to auction her off to the highest bidder.
There we go. A moment of realization dawns upon Finch, and an idea takes root in his evil little brain. And he clasps his hand firmly in Jonathon's and says, I think that it is definitely time that we paid Alice McBride a visit. Let's go now.
Sure thing.
Okay. Dump later.
So I take it Alice probably went home, right?
Yes, I think she went home and she's starting to write a letter to Miss Dickinson, and maybe I'll have something, because I planned on this and I forgot to do it, but I'll have some. I'll try to have something by the time. But I think what's gonna happen is she's probably gonna get interrupted in the middle of this.
That sounds about right. I think Eliza comes in and says, your friends Finch and Jonathon are here. I mean, they are your friends, right? They were your friends.
I believe Finch was.
Are you all right, Alice?
Yes, I'm fine. And Alice kind of like looks at her and kind of smiles like, I've never felt better, Eliza. And she stands up and says, like, I better go receive my friends. Is there anything else you need?
No, I guess not. Well, I'm glad you're feeling well. She's thoroughly creeped out by you.
You know, I've always been creeped out by her.
So it's fair. Cool. Yeah, I guess you find your friend sitting in the front parlor.
I think I see them and say, like, please just sit down. I need to go make tea. You don't have any tea, right? Yes. And it's almost like she's kind of delaying it a bit as she runs off to make tea. Is Eliza still there, or she's gonna go for this?
Yeah, I think Eliza's decided that she has some errands she needs to run far away from home.
Okay, so I think, yeah, I'll set on some tea for the two of you. It's like, so Finch, Jonathon, I guess you took my invitation for you all to come back, and I thank you, I guess, for your company. But what's the purpose of this visit?
Well, first of all, Other Alice. Have you decided on something else to call yourself? Because calling you Other Alice feels almost disrespectful to the friendship that I shared with your predecessor.
No, no, I'm not decided on that yet. Which I guess it's not a luxury we have. We're usually given names. You didn't decide to be called Finch, nor did you,
No.
Jonathan. If you this is a bit of a silly question, I suppose, but if you could, what would you call yourself?
Finch feels very confident and says, "Of course, I think I fit my name perfectly."
I can't say as I'd given it much thought.
Well, then, and I think it's weird. You see Alice kind of like she's almost like she looks like on the verge of just being chipper. It's almost like, oh, we're talking about this out in the open. Hell yeah. Uh, I think she's getting it's like, well, okay then. If Other Alice feels like it's an insult to your friend, I'll solicit some suggestions.
Hmm. Well, I didn't quite come here to play the name game, so I think that instead I'd rather talk about something else. Jonathan has delightfully brought to my attention that you've caught the attention of two people of immense stature.
Yes. In fact, I may have gotten on the bad side of one of them recently, but
Which one?
at this point, I almost feels like it doesn't matter. I think I've caught the bad side of both of them.
Well, that is unfortunate for you, but I've come to help.
Oh, and I think this is the last bit of that command going. It's like, oh, well, that's good because I was actually planning on going to you for help, Finch. I know you've offered to help me out in the past, and I know I hope the offer still stands, but I'm I don't know what can you do against forces like these. I wonder.
At this point, Finch like puffs himself up a little bit and like settles into a seat and smiles and says, "Well, I happen to be acquainted with both of the people who've shown quite an interest in you, and I think that due to my elevated position, I have a bit more leverage in this situation than you might." He's very much like bluffing about like how important he is in this particular situation, and he leans in and says, "It would be so," and he says, "I would so love to be able to extend to you the same care and care and protection that I have extended to my little birds. I know in the past that we've not always agreed, but I can be quite a giving friend."
And Alice kind of leans forward and she's like, well, I know the type of care you've given to your friends. Eyes flicker to Jonathan over there. I'm sure if I ask Jonathan, I hear nothing but rave reviews about your personage.
Oh, he's too kind. I'm sure that he's said much kinder things than are true.
Oh no, Jonathan is kind. And she's kind of leaning forward, almost ignoring Jonathan. Jonathan is terribly kind. In fact, sometimes I think Jonathan may be a bit too kind. But me, I've been told recently that I'm not even capable of being that. Being kind or being funny or being interesting in any way.
Well, I'd hate to break it to you, Alice, but I unfortunately have first I unfortunately was a blatant witness to one of the moments that you shared, a very, very heartfelt moment with another one of our classmates.
Yeah, her eyes widened at that. It's like, what are you saying, Finch? I thought we were going to be straightforward with each other now.
Well, considering we're just friends here, I think that the proper balance of decorum would state, I know that you and Miss Fisher are much closer than mere schoolmates. Intimately familiar, if I may.
I think I was like digesting that, and then she's almost like she looks worried, but then she seems that, okay, so you know that. Well, what then? So you know it. What's that going to do to me?
I kind of lean over and I nudge Jonathon and I say, Jonathon, darling, do you think that if Alice McBride shared a moment with Helen Fisher, like the one we just shared in the woods, that she couldn't feel a thing at all?
No, I mean, of course not. I mean, if the two of you are, you know, I'm happy for you. But yeah, Jonathon is going to look distinctly uncomfortable.
And Finch, at this point, just kind of like smiles nonchalantly and says, there you go. See? Anyone who tells you that you can't feel anything obviously doesn't know you, because I can tell you, you felt things.
I think I think this is kind of like the opposite of, like, you know, when Red Queen is the Queen of Hearts is like, yeah, you feel nothing else. Like, yeah. This like, and the opposite that it's like it's making her look she looks glowing. She looks like really happy the more you affirm this. And she's like, no, you're right. No, Finch, you're always right, aren't you? You just see people clearly, right? Yeah. No, you saw it from the start. I'm not Alice. Never was. Could never be, probably. And so I never know why you or anyone else bothered to care about me. But now I'm glad for the help. But again, I'm just gonna lean forward. Again, let's just be straightforward. You want me to be part of your family, and in doing so, help me with my problems with the Red Queen and the Master. Yes?
I believe I've told you many times over, not Alice, that the only thing I want in this world is to see people shine.
Make them shine, make all their fortunes shine so brightly. Fortune. That's a good name. Think about it. I think she's mulling it over. It's like, oh, Jonathan, you're gonna say something?
No, I think Jonathan's just gonna say, look, we do care for you, Alice, truly, or whatever you want to call yourself. And I know I wasn't straight with you the other day, but I didn't. Me and Jonathon, me and Finch, I was, you know, if people found out. But you definitely you definitely have feelings for people. I can see that.
I think I was kind of like, gentlemen, this is honestly just quite a lot to take in. I mean, I know you've said you cared before, but hearing it now is gratifying, I suppose. But there's still just something nagging. Just a little bit. He kind of looks at Finch and like, you've said you wanted to help me before, but I just want to know, since we're being truthful and everything, how did you know of all these forces? How did you know of the Master? How did you know of the Queen of Hearts?
He again like sits up and he like fluffs himself a little bit more, and he says, "Well, not Alice. Of course I would know about these people. Do you think that someone of my social stature wouldn't be aware of forces greater than the average person?"
I guess that's true. She doesn't want to say it, but she's like, I guess. Well, short of following what my predecessor did, I guess. There's a bit where her happiness kind of tampering down. And she's like, but then she kind of like she's turning over, and then she just like stands up and she's kind of like, gentlemen, I appreciate so much the kind words, and I appreciate all the help. So many people have been helpful to me, have been kind, have been willing to give me support, and I never knew why. And to an extent, I still don't know why. But I think for this endeavor, I think I'll stand on my own for now. I want to know who I am. It's not Alice, but that's just a start. And I believe I'll do that best with or without your guidance for now.
Finch leans across the table and puts a hand on your hand on your lap and says, "My dear, are you sure? There's so much that we could help you with."
I think Alice kind of like puts her hand on your hand, and she says, again, I appreciate, but there's just some journeys where you can get all the help you need, but there's just a point where you have to take that first step and know you can keep taking those steps. And I'd like to see that. If I fall, then you can gloat however you want. You can say, or you can tell me that you told me so to speak, if I fall and shatter. But that's fine. That's me. It'll do me the world to know that it was all on my terms.
I'm pretty sure at some point in this conversation you have shared your pain.
Yeah, no, I was figuring out like at what point was that. So yeah, I'm gonna roll dark. All right, so 8, 9, 10. Okay, so on a 10, choose 2. Remove a condition from myself. Don't have that. Remove a condition from someone who listened. Well, there's a lot of choices there. And take +1 forward helping yourself, or those who listen take +1 forward to helping you. Since what I said is all about me, sorry, I'll take that +1 forward. And yeah, you know what? Yeah, that box is a bit cluttered. Let's see. You're still kind of aggressive. You're still quite overbearing. You're more than a bit transparent. I don't know about if you're obsessed. What are you obsessed
Yeah,
about
well, I
anyway?
mean, if your pain has you're taking a stand has caused Finch to lose some of his obsession about manipulating you, that would seem to follow. Yeah.
I mean, I would raise that in this particular situation, you had no idea what I was actually trying to do. So I would
No,
say
yeah.
transparent.
Sorry, say it again. Which
I
one?
would say transparent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah. I think I was kind of has an inkling because you hypnotize her and she knows it, but she doesn't really know what you're planning, so that's why she's just like kind of trying to sincerely reject you, as if like, no, no, I like no, it's fine. If I fall, then it won't be on you. It'll be on me, and that's fine. Like I'll never be, and I think this is her continuing her talking. Like I was never Alice McBride, and she seems to be such a striking person that her loss would affect you greatly. But she's gone. She's never coming back, and I never want to take her place. And this is me telling you that I'm going to be me instead. But thank you for the offer.
Finch smiles at you and says, my. It looks like you don't need my help after all. And I would fully say that this means that my compulsion over you is over. That you've like made yourself so self-sufficient that like you won't go to me for help. So I'm fully willing to say that hypnosis is relinquished. Has relinquished control of you. I think at this point I stand up and I say, well, Jonathan, it seems that this young lady who has yet to decide upon her true fate wants to do that on her own. And I don't seem to think there's any other reason for us to continue to force our presence upon her. Shall we go?
Sure thing. Thank you for the tea, miss.
Oh, I'm really tempted to just go with fortune. I just threw that out in a whim.
Wow, yes.
No, I think I'll decide at the very end. I think, yeah, it's like Miss is just fine. You're always welcome, the two of you. If there's ever any reason you want to drop in, even if whatever it is, whatever company I can provide. But thank you, and good luck.
You're quite welcome, my dear. I'm sure our paths will cross again. I think point, like John, or I think at this point Finch just like leaves. Like it's just like, okay, I can't get what I want out of this situation. And then, well, I'm wondering. Yeah, no. I think that he leaves and probably maybe even goes. I don't know. I kind of want to talk to the Queen of Hearts. I'm not sure. Jonathan, what do you? I turn to Jonathan and I say, Jonathan, what would you like to do?
I don't know. I'm. Is this some kind of changeling thing here? With.
You mean not Alice? Yes, no, that hasn't been her for over a month now. And as you can see, she's had a lot of issues dealing with that.
Huh. That's, wow. Yeah, I thought there was something weird going on. I didn't realize quite how weird it all was.
Oh, trust me, that's just the frosting on the cake.
So, Alice, you're all alone.
I think after they leave, I'll call her Alice for now, I guess. He lets out the breath she's been holding this entire time, and just like, oh, okay, all right. I think while I'm waiting for my sister to get back, because we don't have words, I want to gaze into the abyss. I want to like. I think I go back to the desk and I look at Emily's letter. And I think it's thinking to me that I can't really visit her anymore. So I want to see her. Just want to see her.
Je vous prie, j'étais lady.
Let's see. That's dark 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
+1 forward.
Oh yes. So yeah, that's a 10. And I got a new move, which is metamorphosis. When you gaze into the abyss on a 7 or higher, the abyss will also show you what you must become. And I can swap 2 of my stats. Oh, interesting. And what do I see? First and foremost.
You see a man sitting on your bed in a black suit with colored spectacles and a richly embroidered vest.
I think, yeah, I look at that and it's like, I was wondering when I would see you again.
Well, you only had to ask.
I guess I really wasn't eager to see you, I suppose.
Our situation is somewhat degraded.
No, really. Didn't notice at all.
I think I liked you better before you started to develop a sense of humor. My dear, there's 2 things that are happening here. The first is, I feel a name borning in you. And that was the term of our service, was it not? That I could make that real. The second thing, and I can't but help feel slightly mournful about this. You are on the precipice of becoming mortal. How is this possible? How fascinating.
I believe it's possible because I want it. And sometimes... Oh, God.
What a servant you would have been for me.
I'm sorry. But I believe I would have made a poor servant, either for you or your other half.
Yes, you stink of free will now. Probably that Greenwood. They always have a bad influence on people. But I need to know from you, my dear Alice, is who broke the mirror?
Oh. When Finch... Oh, wait, no. Finch's hand is healed at that point.
Well, I mean, it's probably still bandaged.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you put your hands on mine.
I mean, one hand, and also I could have hurt that hand in any number of ways. And like, it's not my house. Just saying.
Well, yeah, true. And it's not like Alice had an inkling that that's where you and Siobhan went off for your party. You could have gone to any party, and I don't think she would notice at all. And I think Alice says, I don't know, but I dearly love to know as well.
Whoever broke it, their blood will have mixed with the glass, and the glass will have mixed with their blood. With that, I can do something. With that, I can maybe get you through one last time. I no longer know if you can carry me with you. I think you might, but I am not sure. I think if she wants it, it will be enough.
I think Alice looks at the letter that she got and looks at the 5 different crumpled up pages of her attempts to write one back, and she's like, "Well, I learned recently, you never know unless you take that step. There's a chance. There's a chance. I'm willing to take that chance."
Always the danger of associating with poets. We make them more like us, so they see further. They make us more like them, so we feel deeper. I'm not sure it's a fair bargain, and yet I know no other way to spend this life.
Why don't you try something else then?
Remember how I say you stink of free will? I do not. I can only be as I am.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, it has its compensations.
I think Alice just laughs at that, and then she says, "Well then, one last time, what do you need?"
What do I need? From you?
Okay, then, what do you want?
To see her one last time. That's all I've ever wanted, Alice. I know that she cares for you, I think. I mean, Emily was always difficult.
Truthfully, I've never found her difficult. I've only ever found her a joy.
Then you were already more human than you realized the day you met her.
That's good to know. Well, we want the same thing, I suppose.
Oh, one other thing. Finch did make a bargain with me, so if you need his help, feel free to call upon that obligation.
Alice smiles at that, and it's like, it's a, yeah, no, she just saw that, and it's like, that's reassuring to know. Thank you very much.
I will await our next meeting.
Cool. So, all right. So I can swap 2 of my stats. Ooh. I think I'm definitely becoming less dark. Suppose. Becoming. I'll think about it, but I'm pretty sure I'm. I'm pretty sure I'm swapping my dark for something else. Anyway, think about it while we go to someone else for now.
Sure. Cool. Yeah. What we've seen Finch and Jonathan, we've seen the 3 of you, but what we haven't seen is Finch and Alice alone.
Yeah.
But that might be too soon right after.
Finch say he wanted to meet with the Red Queen or something like that. He wants to do that.
That's a plan.
I could definitely do that.
Okay. She's at Watkins House.
I think I arrive and I look at the guards in their livery, and I'm a little uncomfortable. not because I'm unused to high-class elegance, but because I'm uncomfortable being ostensibly immortal walking into a supernatural place of power. I'm gonna go.
So she's standing by the sideboard in her red dress and bustle, because I did some research today on the difference between 1860s and 1880s fashions, and that's what it boils down to. And she turns and looks over you in her heart-shaped red spectacles as well. Little claret or something stronger?
Whatever you would prefer, my mistress.
Well, what I would prefer is ambrosia of the gods, but I'm afraid that would strike you dead. So, perhaps we can compromise on a nice Inslay single malt.
I think that would be best, yes.
It's a little peaty. So she doesn't even sit. She just leans against the wall and says, "Well, to business then. What is it you wish, Finch Greenwood, of the Dunwich Greenwoods and Kingsport Greenwoods and Arkham Greenwoods?"
Finch is kind of actually drawn to that, and he says, "You have awakened additional powers within me. You granted me abilities that I feel were somehow always there, but I couldn't reach until you turned a key. And you seem to know so much about my family. Tell me, what am I? What are we? What are the Greenwoods?"
Oh, your ancestress was a witch. She made a bargain with the Dark Lord. It was, as was the style of the times.
Finch kind of like looks down and like smiles, because this just confirms that like not only was he born with proper breeding, but also his legacy is long. And you can't tell him a single thing when you want to turn it into a compliment, but he simply says, "I thank you heartily for your guidance, but I do like to repay my debts promptly, and so set about my business otherwise. I've thought of ways I could expedite that process, and I wonder, I've heard that you have interest in the McBride golem. I don't say girl because she's not a girl, but..."
I don't know what she is anymore. She's becoming, and it's a dangerous thing.
I feel there's a lot more to know there.
I have been in your realm too long. I am growing weary, as mortals grow weary. It's not a good look for me. I'll have to go swim in a rainbow for a couple thousand years to get the stink out of it. I wish at one point I would have gladly sworn the McBride girl into my service, but now she's neither mortal nor not mortal. She's neither fae nor human nor construct. I don't know what she is. That's what scares me. If she can unmake and remake herself, then I knew there were people like that once long ago. They called them wizards, I think.
Last summer I would have told you that wizards didn't exist, but I think that knowing what I know now, such a thing seems quite possible.
Well, don't take airs. I didn't say you were. I said she might be. What would you offer me, Finch Greenwood, keeping in mind that you already owe me debts?
Before I met you, I was amassing myself a small collection of power. And though your eminence seems to radiate on an entirely different frequency from those of us who exist upon this plane, it would, I think, behoove you to have quite a claim to the powers of this land if you intend, as you said, to have the stink of us upon you. And I could happily offer that.
Finch Greenwood. When you were small, were you terrified of what might live under your bed?
Finch freezes for a second and remembers the childhood nights spent in torment, but tries to play it off and says, most children were. It was always a fancy.
Do you know what was living under your bed, Finch Greenwood? I was all a fairy. Deep in your mortal heart, you still fear us, and you fear the dark and the unknown, for it is our realm. You come to offer me to be my viceroy? I can shake the hearts of men with a word. I don't collect cults, Finch Greenwood. That's your ancestress, friend. I suppose if you enacted vengeance for me, that would be a useful service. I hate to get my hands dirty.
And who upon should I wreak vengeance?
Why, who else? McBride, before she escapes all our grasp.
Yes, we can't have any real live wizards running around now, can we?
Don't mock what you don't know, boy.
I can't mock something that I'll never be, apparently.
Greenwoods. Never forget, Finch Greenwood, that right now I keep your absurdly stupid Victorian image in your head, for it's easier. You can laugh a little bit at me and take tea with me and not think it's strange. But never forget that I am also the Morrigan.
Of course, my lady.
Bring me something worthy of talking about, and I will speak to you again.
As you wish.
There's a good boy. So, feel free to have another drink before you leave. After all, there's absolutely no danger in coming into the ferry and drinking our drink and eating our food. You'll be fine. This will work out well for you.
He sets the glass down untouched and simply says, I think that my mission weighs greatly upon my mind, and I shall see to that first.
As you will.
And he departs.
Cool. All right, folks. What's going on elsewhere? I can only stir this gumbo so thick. Hey, Alice, are you taking concrete steps towards your goal?
Yeah, I'm going to seek out Finch pretty much directly. I kind of want to know what Jonathan's up to.
I have no particular plans.
Oh, the poor dear.
Well, the best way to get Finch is to get Jonathan.
True. I think that's a perfect suggestion. So, yeah. God. I do want, like, whatever conversation me and Finch have, I do want Jonathan to be there. I don't see how bad he's got it. So, yeah, I think man, this is a long day. I'm gonna go find Jonathan. I guess like I probably kind of know where Finch is, but I'm gonna go find Jonathan. Almost kind of like a one last time, just like I'm just gonna tell you straight up what's gonna happen. See what happens. Where's Jonathan right now?
I think he's down down at the waterfront, just sat on one of the big, I don't know what they call them, but the big metal things that they tie the ships to. And he's just sitting there, like looking out across the water.
I think I call out like, anything in your mind?
Oh, no, I was just sitting here, taking a moment, you know. How's how are you doing?
Okay, good. I'm not as bad as I was a week ago. Again, thanks for asking for me. I meant what I said back then. That you're there's a kind you're almost kind to a fault. There are worse things to be.
I try my best.
Have you ever been out of Kingsport?
Nah, I've always lived here. Never had much cause to leave.
If you could go, would you?
I don't know. Sammy Moore was. We were talking the other week. He was saying about going off on one of the whalers, see all the world. You know, it's it'd be kind of an exciting thing to do, but
I I'd recommend you take him up on that offer. That sounds like a chance to see so much. I mean, Kingsport is Kingsport. It's one place. There's so much out there in the world. And you're kind of walking past you, looking out the sea. Like,
but
I get. Oh God, I'm going.
but you know, it's the people in a place too. You know,
It's Finch, isn't it?
yeah.
I need to hear it with my ears again. Why Finch?
I just, from the moment I saw him, there was something about him. You know, I just don't get me wrong. I've known for a while that, you know, I like who I like, but when I saw Finch, it was
It's
I can't
like
put it into words.
it's like all all of the world just sort of collapses around him, right?
You could say that, yeah. It's
I think I can sigh at that, and I say, well, I'm sorry, but well, no, I'm just sorry. I do hope you're happy, but
I am.
I guess that's the most important thing, right?
Exactly. I don't know how long he'll stay interested in me, but you know, I'm gonna make the best of it while I can.
You might not have that long.
Certainly longer than you, Alice McBride.
I turn around and like, we'll see.
Finch is standing there, and he's got a black cloak around him. And in his hand, you see a glittering silver knife.
What were you promised this time, Finch? What do you crave so hard that you'd be willing to do this for that? For what that? What is it?
To be my own man, of course. Isn't that exactly what you want? To be your own person? I'm not doing anything you wouldn't.
And so, I almost said we're not so different. I'm gonna expunge that from my head. The urge was there. I just want to put it out in the open. The urge was there. I think, yeah, and yeah, no, it's like that's understandable. But I guess the difference is that the difference between you and me is that I would prefer that I don't have to step on anyone else to get there. But you don't care about that, do you? You step on anyone to be who you are. Because that's what who you are. Someone who... I wouldn't say you don't care, but, only sometimes.
Finch doesn't respond. He lunges at you with the knife, lashing him physically.
I think I'm going to have to trigger my move now.
Yes!
Yes, I'm going to intervene in an act of violence.
So the way this works is, do I resolve first and then, not resolve, but or should I roll it all?
No, I think probably mine goes off first.
Yeah,
you may still act afterwards, depending on what.
Yeah, depending on what happens, there may not be a roll afterwards either. So let's see.
So yeah, sorry, words. Jonathon is going to lunge between them, looking genuinely surprised, which he really shouldn't be by this point, but Finch, what are you doing? And I will roll with volatile. That's an 8. So I'll just check this move. Right, so yeah, on a 7 to 9, I'm in the middle of it, and the assailant chooses from below. You can back off, take whatever harm you want to give me as I push past, or redirect the violence to me.
I'm gonna take whatever harm you want to give me as I push past.
Sure thing. I think that he's. I was going to say he probably isn't actually going to punch you, because I think he's more trying to just interpose himself. So I think he maybe kind of elbows you in the stomach or something as you're kind of pushing past him. But it's not. He's not going to make any particular
Okay.
What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, that's probably about the level. He's trying to get in the way and stop you, but he's not actually trying to take you down, sort of thing.
Let's call that one harm. And now I think Finch gets to lash out.
So that is a 7. Yeah, I think I'll stick with 7. So on a 7 to 9, you harm them, but choose one. They learn something about your true nature and gain a string on you. The MC decides how bad the harm turns out, or you become your darkest self. Well, I feel like you know there's pretty much everything to know about Finch Greenwood at this point. He's a dumpster fire of a human being, and I'm already my darkest self like 3 times over. So yeah, the MC is going to decide how bad the harm turns out as I lash at you with this dagger.
Well, and so we move to our end game. I think how's this sound? So Jonathon slowed you down long enough that Alice was more prepared. So for a moment, there's a deadly struggle here, right on the pit, on the edge of the wharf. Alice gets stabbed, take 2 harm, but in doing so, your cut reopens, and your blood and Alice's blood mix. And there's a flash and a bang, and all 3 of you vanish from Kingsport. Oh, you're all
Fade to
looking
black
at me.
credit.
Oh, no. You're all looking at me, asking me what's happening next, so I get to make a move. Or I can set a scene, which is what I'm going to do. You're standing in a nice flower garden because it's now spring, and things are blooming. And seated not far ahead of you is a woman in a white dress who looks quite frail and ill, and probably has a parasol held over, cocked over her. And behind you is a man in a black suit wearing a richly embroidered waistcoat.
What the hell happened?
I think Alice is like stabbed me, it's bleeding, and quite. No, I wouldn't say profusely. It's only 2 harm, but it's staining her dress. But she sees where you are, and you saw this back at her room. She's giddy again, and she's like, well, I got what I wanted. We're exactly where I want to be. And go on.
Finch just like lunges again and is like, then you should die happily, and like raises the knife and plunges it at you again.
Yeah. I'll let that go because she got caught up in the moment. Let's see how the roll works.
It's an 11.
Fucking hell. Can't believe we're doing this again, Daryl. We're doing this again.
It's gonna work out differently this time.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's out of character. Like, Leandro, are you okay if like of course you're gonna get like a death knell kind of like thing, but like are you okay if Finch just like executes Alice?
Well, the thing is, I was just gonna skirt death because I have a specific reaction kind of plan.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's Monsterhearts, so you can totally skirt death. So
yeah, and I have all these strings I'm never gonna use. So I think, as much as Finch wants to execute Alice, no, I think I still have some things kind of want to do. That's okay.
Okay, yeah. So I think that like Finch totally just like goes in for the kill, and then I think it's one of those things where it's like it kind of happens like above frame, like the frame is there, and then like there's just like a flailing, and then like the fall, and then Finch like falls back, and like his dagger is like dripping with blood.
Alice is gonna lie there for a bit and think about her mistakes while everything else happens around her for now. Like, yeah, just kind of lie there, kind of gasping but smiling. It's like the blood's kind of pooling, and it's a lot of blood, but like there's a point where kind of like it looks like the blood, whatever blood's coming out, it's congealing, it's getting slower, and it starts turning a different color, and it's like you're kind of realizing that it's actually somehow once the blood has come out, it's being replaced. It's like coming out after it is like sap or something like that. It's like this weird, like congealed brownish sort of liquid, and then it's like almost like just kind of giggling a bit. Alice kind of like touches the wound, and that's the sap just kind of sticks as she kind of raises it to her finger. It says, huh, so I guess I wasn't hollow after all.
Well, I've just marked my experience for excuses are my armor, and I'm going to sit down next to Finch and put my arm around him and say, Finch, what are you doing? What's wrong? Are you okay?
I think Finch like looks down at like the Alice that should be dead, but refuses to die. And he's just so terrified in this moment that he's going to be trapped under the Faery Queen's control for the rest of his life because he's been given an impossible task.
Yeah, I think at this point, yeah, Alice stands up, and it's like oh god, you gonna say something?
No, it's just like shook us.
Alice is just standing up, and you can see like where the sap is. It's not. It's because it's sticky. It's actually not flowing out anymore. So it's kind of like almost congealed and forming around her wound. And she's looking at you, and she's like, yeah, a week ago I probably would have embraced this, but I realize, thanks to you, thanks to all of you, that yes, I want things. I want more. I want to live. And I'm not gonna let you stop me. And I'm gonna walk past you and go towards Emily Dickinson.
So Jonathan, were you trying to do a move there, or?
No, just
Okay. Cool. Why don't we check in with you guys, and then I'll check back with Leandro. Does that work? Is that okay?
I think that Finch like falls, like not quite falls to the ground, but like chases after the Alice and is just like screaming. It's like he's losing it. He's losing his shit basically, and he like tries to raise the knife again, but he almost gets like tripped up in the overly large cloak that worked really well for a certain ancestor of his, but not so much for him. And he like falls to the ground and he like screams after her. It's like, you're not her. You're not Alice. How can you stand to go on in her place? You are the reason my friend is gone. And you're the reason everything is wrong.
And I think at that point, yeah, I'm going to follow after again. And I'm going to again put my arm around him and put my hands up over the hand he's got the knife in, and say, you don't need Alice anymore, Finch. You've got me. I'm all you need. And I think I am going to go for the turn on there. Yes, that's a 15 in total.
So in keeping with the situation, Finch like feels like your hand on the knife, and he kind of just lets it go. And he turns to you, and like he realizes that every single thing that he's tried to like assert dominance over people and demand what he wanted from them and take all of the respect that he thought he deserved. And he wasn't worth any of it. And he realizes that like he tried to coerce you and he tried to blackmail you and he tried to like hypnotize you and he tried to do all of these things and none of them worked, but you still love him anyway. And he just collapses into you and starts sobbing. And he relinquishes part of his power to someone more deserving than him.
Nice.
Finally out of your darkest self. Nice. All right. Let's do this. So you come up to Emily. It's like, well, if it isn't my little nobody. Now there's a pair of us again. I guessed you were coming because I suddenly felt better. So I came down to my gardens. Do you like them?
They're beautiful.
I've made 2 kinds of books in my life. The one I pressed flowers and herbs, and I wrote the name in Latin using the system of Linnaeus next to them. And the other I wrote my poems. I expect they'll be burned soon.
If I'm to be honest, that would be a tragedy.
Life's a tragedy, my dear little nobody. I've had a 55-year-long argument with God about being mortal. He'll win, I suppose. You disagree about what?
I don't think life is a tragedy. Well, I do. But it's not just a tragedy. It's a comedy. It's a farce. It's opera. It's mythic. It's mundane. It's many things. It's as many things as we could be. And some may dominate the others, but I don't think it's ever just whatever you think it is.
Oh, I did try and write some of that in my poems, you know.
I think I'm smiling like I think she's still kind of clutching her wound, but she's not gonna pay direct to that. And she's like, I wish my presence could make you feel the best. And I'm sorry, I didn't bring any bluebells.
You can take them to my home when I move there, which won't be long, I think.
Okay.
You seem both sad and happy, little nobody.
That's good. That's perfect. I'd rather be both than neither. And you ask me if I found a house. No, I found a road. I don't know where I'll go, but I'll follow it for as long as I could.
This is the hour of lead, remembered if outlived, as freezing persons recollect the snow. First chill, then stupor, then the letting go. You'll find that all out. I see you've brought him.
I kind of blush at that. It's like, I apologize. It was I was desperate and selfish and silly. Just
No, don't. It's all right, little one. It's all right. I have nothing to say to him, but I can give you my two greatest gifts, a flower and a pen. You can have those. And I'll walk with him one last time in my garden. Does that seem appropriate, little nobody?
I'll I'll try. I will try to be worthy of them. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, you're in the thick of it now, my dear.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I feel that all the times I've met you have not exactly been normal.
Define normal.
I feel that it is strange that you've never met my sister, nor my brother, nor even his wife in all your visits here. I don't think they're exactly strictly above board. Well, they'll be below ground now. So long, little nobody. I'd say to write, but my address doesn't get the forwarding anymore.
Goodbye then, Miss Dickinson. It's been. I won't waste your time. I'll only waste the words. For now. Someday I hope to be worthy of them and of you. Thank you.
So she gets up and she walks over to the master, and they take a turn around the garden. And as they vanish around one corner, a woman who quite clearly has a family resemblance to Emily comes down out of the house holding on to a man who also has the same resemblance, and they are both crying.
Did they see me?
No.
Oh. I think I'll let them pass. I don't think I need to follow them.
So shortly thereafter, the master is standing in front of all three of you. Well, not Alice. You completed your service. What name shall I give you?
It was a bit of a lark, but some say there's some names are given meaning, some are just a lark. I've been fortunate, so yeah, I'll take that. My name is Fortune from now on.
It is. Well, Fortune, will you stay for the funeral?
I think I'll go. I'm not needed here anymore, and to tell you the truth, I think I'm ready to go.
Where will you go, Fortune?
Anywhere, everywhere, wherever will take me, and wherever I want to go.
Anywhere but out of this world.
No, that's her domain.
Well. Another acquaintance of ours said that once. Well, now, Mr. Greenwood, are we sane again?
You see Finch looking for the first time truly humbled, but like strongly clenching Jonathan's hand. He looks up and there's an earnest look in his eyes for the first time, and he says, I am myself.
Good. Well, you'll be happy to know that sometimes we don't collect our debts right away. Sometimes we let them pass down a few generations. But never fear. Promises made can't be broken.
Just looks down and just you can see like another tear like roll down his eye, and it's just like he realizes that all of this has just destroyed him in a way that he doesn't know he'll come back from.
Never doubt that though we fuss and feud, the Queen and I are but the same side of just different sides of the same thing. And our debts are sometimes held in common. But you'll be fine, old man. You'll be fine. I haven't had the pleasure of Mr. Jonathan Brody's acquaintance yet. So normal, so nice, so plain, so dour. What service would you have, Jonathan Brody? But speak your desire to me, and I can give you the power to take it.
He's going to blush slightly and say, I think I already possess that power, sir, but it's kind of you to offer.
Oh, you damn mortals. What am I to do? Very well. I bless your union. May it be long and happy, though probably one of you should take a wife at some point and beget some sort of children. I don't know how you guys manage that. It never made any sense to me. If you like, I'll take you back to Kingsport. I suppose Amherst is not any much better. I mean, yeah. Unless you want to go someplace nicer. Alice, can I drop you anywhere? Paris? Petersburg? Tashkent?
I think actually at that moment, Jonathan is going to glance over to Finch and say, actually, maybe a trip to Paris would be nice.
And Finch like kind of smiles ruefully and he's like, it would be nice to get away, wouldn't it?
Well, I guess I'm a bloody omnibus today. Well, come along, come along. The north wind is blowing.
Like Finch looks at Fortune and says, if you'll have us, I'm sure we could make pleasant enough travel companions.
Fortune smiles and says, well, pleasant is a relative term, but I do believe so. And and she just smiles and says, kind of like, I don't have anything else to add. Yeah, she just smiles at that.
I think the final post-credit shot would be Magnus and Samuel on a whaling ship sailing off into the sunset.
I almost thought you were gonna say Samuel and like Tommy Blakiston. Just like poor Tommy.
He's just so happy to be here.
Stop talking about the governor that way. Cool. Wow, we managed to actually wrap that up, and everybody got to at least be in the same location as Emily Dickinson at one point. Cool. This was a lot of fun. Let me get a thing up, and we'll have a little talk over there. Cool. I thank everybody. This is really good, and I know today we had a couple of bumps in the road. Stuff happens. It's games. But you guys were all great. I really appreciated everything you did on this series. You really pushed it, and it was wonderful. And I know I'm going to see 3 of you next week for something completely different. And then I'm going to go sailing for a little while. So we'll find out how that works. And eventually we'll get back to Kingsport. So
Cool.
All right, guys. Thank you all so very, very much. Take care.